All right, members of the culture. I'm Ra, and you are here. Welcome in, everybody. I'm about to go ahead and drop another Take 5 video on you. And if for some reason you've never seen one of these before, Take 5 is a segment where I take 5 minutes of your time and I talk about a particular topic. You then engage in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought, how you feel about it, and what you might want to talk about next. So with that in mind, it's 24 hours in a day. I'm only asking for 5 minutes. Let's go. There's been a lot of talk in the community. For those of you who didn't check my pod out, my last pod, I did talk about it with Des Bull and Brother Seaberry. So make sure you're checking out the pod, by the way, shameless plug. We talked about a lot of different topics, but one of the things we talked about, and this is going to tie into something my man Clever was mentioning in his video. Go support Clever's Multiverse, by the way. Check it out. We're talking about consumerism. That's one of the things. Folks, when it comes to collecting, right? I talked about how I didn't have certain figures. And I hate that sometimes we have people that gatekeep. You know what I mean by that? And when I say gatekeep, they're telling you your collection is invalidated because you don't have certain figures that they have or that they feel that you should have. At the end of the day, the money came out of your pocket, right? Not theirs. I can't tell you how to collect. No one can. Your collection is your collection. Collect your way, what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. It's yours at the end of the day. I don't come in your room and, you guys are allowed to come in mine, and I appreciate you for that. But I don't come into yours and tell you that this doesn't go there, that doesn't go there. What's that? I feel like everything you have should tell a story. But as long as you can explain and articulate your story, that's all that matters, man. If it makes sense to you, and if I walk up and say, "Hey, what does this mean?" and you can tell me what that means, that's all that matters. And while I might have a bunch of different figures, and I do a whole bunch of different figures here from different lines, I can assure you that I can tell you how they correlate. That's one thing I can do. I can tell you what I'm going for. Now, I'm the big thing with consumerism. Let me get before I don't jump too far off topic. I've watched a lot of these YouTubers. I'm not gonna say any names, and I feel like we do have a real big responsibility to the generation that comes behind us, to people that are watching and saying, "Hey, I want to get this figure. I want to get this figure, but if I don't have these, I can't call myself a collector. I gotta have this line. I gotta have this particular Captain America." No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. If you've got one and it tells that story, remember I tie that back in. That's what matters. I did not have, and I'm not picking on Strong Guy, I didn't have this Strong Guy figure, right? I didn't. But for those of you that have the Strong Guy build a figure, I agree. I don't recommend that you go out and buy it. I don't. There's not enough differences for you. But I'm grateful in a sense that I did get a chance to get him without the grind of having to buy figures that I may or may not have wanted. That's one thing. Secondly, besides buying those figures, they don't fit what what I have going on. So what am I gonna do? Just put them in a box? And then even though I built the figure, at the end of the day, I would feel like I kind of wasted my money if that really kind of hits home and makes sense. I'm not hating on Build-A-Figures. There's something to be said about them. But I'm not the type of guy that would, if I had the original Strong Guy, I'm not going to go out and get another Strong Guy because he has a barbell or he's pinless or whatever other excuse you can use, right? That's not my thing. I feel like when we want to collect, it needs to be with intention and with purpose. Right? Because I had a conversation with a young lady just last night. We talked about collecting, and she says, "Oh, you guys just buy everything. You guys just buy everything. That's why I can't date guys that do this." And here's the thing about that. The part that you should take from that conversation that matters is the fact that she said, "You guys just buy everything." It lets me know, first and foremost, there's a stigma that's attached to us, right? And it ties into what I'm talking about. That's a stigma. That all we do is we just buy up everything, and we just get a bunch of toys with grown man children. If that's a good term, and that's not true at all, right? But if we collect it differently, I think as a whole, I'm speaking to certain YouTubers, if we did it that way, because you guys are the most popular, that's the ones the algorithm pushes, right? And that's what people see. So when they tune in to YouTube and they see a certain, YouTuber, and that YouTuber has a million figures behind, he can't explain why he has them, guess what the person that's watching that video thinks? That's what collecting is. That's what it is. That's what all of y'all do. And I hate that. For all of us, for people that collect with intention, I feel so bad because we're marginalized enough as it is as collectors, let alone to have to know that we're being judged off of a standard of something that most of us can't even meet. right? So it's crazy. I had to explain to this young lady. I said, we're not all like that, okay? Go check my channel. And I gave her some more channels to watch because this time in 2026 that stops, right? Collect with intention. We got to stop the consumerism. I agree 110%. If you're somebody that's buying every single Marvel wave for no reason at all, other than you bought it because Dan Yen told you to do so, that's part of the problem. And I'm not hating. You know, if you're a baller and don't know what to do with your money and you don't want to donate to the homeless and this is what you do, go for it. I got no issue with that, right? But if you're out there, don't send the message to the community. Don't send it to the kids. Don't send it to the future generations. Don't send that to them that this is what collecting is, because it's not. It's totally not. When collecting is fun and intentional and we can explain it, we all enjoy it. That's what this hobby is about. It's not because we go out and it's not Pokemon, okay? Well, you got to catch them all. No, that's not what it is. I would rather see a collection with 10 figures that mean something to a person than 1,000 where they can't even explain where 900 of them came from. So take that in mind today, folks, to remember there's a huge difference in collecting. But that's my time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below and what you might want to see me talk about next. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all the next time that we take 5.